Hello and welcome to the What Leigh Makes YouTube channel. This is my little corner of the internet where I discuss my crafting adventures for the discuss my crafting adventures. This is a monthly podcast about what I've been up to the previous month. This is July's roundup for 2022. Welcome to new viewers. Thank you for giving me a shot if this is your first time. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you joining me today. My name is Leigh. I am 28. I live in Warwickshire in England, which is sort of quite central in England. I'm a support worker of young people in social services care. Today's date is the 26th of July 2022. This is July's podcast, but it is being filmed early, and I'll explain why in a minute. I am wearing Butterick B6409 dress in 100% cotton. I can't remember who bought it. I think it might be Raisin Hubble, but if you know what print it is, please drop it down below. It is one of the big cotton makers, big fabric cotton makers. The bias binding is Higgs and Higgs organic floral in the pink. Beetles, a lovely comfy dress. Pretty much all of my dresses are this pattern because I just really like wearing them. There's loads of room underarm, so in the cooler weather you can get away with those really tight fitting jumpers to keep you a little bit warmer, and then in the summer or the warmer weather you've got plenty of room for sweating, which is brilliant. It's a high neck so it doesn't show too much, and then I make mine sort of knee length, just below knee, to wear a tight, and then in the summer I've got a couple which are longer. Definitely need to make some more longer ones though. There's no reason you can't wear these without tights, but I personally like my dresses a little bit longer if I'm not wearing tights with them, as a personal preference. What am I drinking today? I am drinking squash. It is just, I think it's Robinson's, it's the peach one. Really nice. I'm trying to up my water intake. I've had a coffee earlier, so I don't want to have too many coffees. The weather is actually really nice. It's really sunny. The time is 20 to 8 in the evening, so the lighting is not perfect. But this is okay. Let's have a little life chat. So in my previous podcast I said that I would discuss going for a weekend away in Kent. I haven't yet been. That is this weekend. I have plans to go to Kent at the end, and then I was going to try and film my podcast for July at the start of August and get it straight up. I'm now going away at the start of August, so I'm filming the podcast early with the intention of, if there's any updates, if I manage to do any more sewing, knitting, I will take pictures and just slot them in at the end, and I might try and do some information on the page, on the photo slide. I don't know. Purely because I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to film a proper podcast in the time that I'm away. And I don't really want to film one sort of halfway through August. I mean, I come back the first week of August. I'm only away for like 5 days. But I don't know. I plan to try and get quite a bit of knitting done there. So I'd rather have that in August podcast. So I'm trying to keep it as close to each, everything in that month as possible, if that makes any sense. It makes sense in my brain, but then quite a lot of stuff does. It doesn't actually make sense for people. So the discussion around the weekends that I have promised isn't going to be in this podcast. Might be in August. I might film an extra video. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. There's not much there'll be to say. So obviously everything I talk about now is only what I've done this side of the podcast. Anything else, sorry, I've just remembered something. Anything else that gets done this month will be slotted in. I come back from Kent on Sunday night, which I think is the very end. I think Monday is the 1st of August. So I come back Sunday evening, and then I go on holiday again Monday afternoon. So I'm hoping between coming home and going on holiday again, amongst the laundry and unpacking and repacking. Sorry for the background noise. I'm hoping amongst all of that rigmarole, I can try and get any pictures slotted in and the podcast at least uploaded, is my hope. I have also filmed today I've also filmed a video on crafting goals and, you know, sort of a reflection on this year so far and my goals going forward. So that might be in place with this video, and then this video will go up later on in August. I really hope that makes sense. I feel like I've spoken for hours and hours and hours at this point. Okay, what do I need to talk about? So if you want to see my crafting goals for the rest of the year, do check out that podcast, check out that video. Okay, so July's roundup. Let's have a look. So again, this one's all over the place. So at the start of June, I did a paint night and painted some wildflowers. That was in Coventry. I remembered I filmed June's podcast, but it was pretty much just a life update. I then realised afterwards that I'd done this wildflowers painting, but I wasn't at home. I was in work and I didn't have pictures of the paintings. I didn't even have time to take pictures of the painting that I did to post on my social media. So I think I might have mentioned it in June's podcast, like in the description or as like a slide on the end or something, but I got this to talk about. And it'll be tagged into July's. So I did this painting, which was based on wildflowers. I really enjoyed it. Do you know what? I will pop a picture in at the end because I've just realised I've cropped the ones that I posted online and they're not cropped on the camera. So then I'd rather show you the cropped version because you can see it clearer. So I've done 2 paint nights. One was the start of June, that was the wildflowers, and then I've also done one in July, and that was from a collection called Showgirls. And the picture that I painted in July was a ballet dancer on stage, which is lovely. But the Showgirls had a collection of 3, so I've also bought a bundle from the organisation, the couple that run those paint nights. So I sat through all of the tutorials for all 3 girls, bought the bundle so that I could go home and paint the other 2 girls myself, which is something I hope to do. I haven't yet had a chance to do it, but I'd like to. So stay tuned and continue watching the podcast to see those be done. I would love to show you the other 2 girls, but I don't have permission from the company. So you'll have to stay tuned to watch my podcast to see them. The paint nights are brilliant. They're great fun. The couple that run them are very knowledgeable but very welcoming and friendly. You know, I don't class myself as a painter at all, and they're always really polite about my pictures. Which is really nice. That I like going to them. I've done a couple. Highly recommend them. They are Painting Perfect. They are on Facebook. Do go and check them out. I've shown my dad my painting and he's asked me to paint something for him. He's just moved to a new place and doesn't have any artwork on the wall. I'm not sure if it's completely positive that he wants them, but he said he wants me to paint him something. So again, stay tuned. I did contemplate whether to paint something for him for Father's Day, which has been and gone in the UK, or for his birthday, which has been and gone. So I might paint something for him for Christmas. I haven't yet decided. I don't know what he wants, but stay tuned. Come back and find out. Well, so knitting. I really should start with knitting first, but we're going with it. The lighting is not great. My brain feels a little bit frazzled. I just want to get filmed so that I can know that like the bulk of the podcast is done, and I just need to throw some pictures in the end. Knitting wise, I have a hoe. It's not been washed and blocked. The ends aren't moving in, but I haven't got sock blockers here, so you're gonna have to use your imagination, I'm afraid. But I finished one sock. This is in the Opal True Love. Sorry, this end is driving me nuts. It's in the Opal True Love colourway. It's in the red one. I don't remember what number that is. This is using the Crazy Sock Ladies Vanilla Socks on DPNs pattern. It's okay. I think on reflection, I don't particularly like how South Patterning yarn looks on 1x1 rib. I think it looks better on a 2x2 rib. But I'd like to try this pattern again with the South Striping yarn and see whether that looks better. The fit is okay. It does feel a little bit snug, which is strange because it's the same needle size. I've gone up a needle size actually. The pattern calls for 2.25. I use 2.5. It does feel a little bit snug. I don't know if it comes up a bit higher than the rest of my socks maybe. But it's the same stitch count. I've done 64, same size needles. The only difference really, I think, is the 1x1 rib versus 2x2. But this hasn't yet been blocked either. I normally wash and block my socks. So that is a hoe. And then the other one is in progress. This is the other. They are knit on Chalgu 6-inch DPNs, 2.5mm. Sorry again, and it all drives me nuts. I am just about to start the heel flap on this one, which is why it's gone me further. Yeah, so they're not quite matching. I haven't tried to match them. I'm generally quite chilled about my socks, to be honest. As long as they're hand knit, I'm not bothered. I personally don't need perfection when it's handmade, but maybe I'm just lazy. Who knows? So I can go there. So I'm hoping to get that finished. I'm hoping actually to get it finished by the end of the month. I'd like ideally to get it finished before I go away. Today is Tuesday. I go away on Saturday. I'd like to get this finished so that I can cast on a new pair of socks for Kent. But who knows? So that's that one done. And then I've got it here. I haven't done any work on it. I was hoping to get some work done before I filmed, but I haven't yet. And I'd like to get the podcast filmed. So you would have seen this. You've probably seen this before on a previous podcast. This is, I think it was for April. I think it was in April's podcast. If you want to go and check it out. I am losing stitches, so I've got to be really careful. It's driving me absolutely bonkers. This is the Flax Light finger and weight pullover. And then I'm going to do the Castaway's tee on the hem. The yarn is Emma's Super Silky 4-ply Merino Silk Blend in Turtle Haven, which is the variegated sort of beachy theme. And then I can't remember. I've got the label. I'll check it in a minute. this is the colour that I've done for the rib, and then the Castaway shell print on the bottom. I, for some reason, have taken the 4mm needles off the cord that's holding the body, which is why I've got a random cord here trying to catch stitches. I've now just realised I've lost more stitches here. I need to go through, pick up stitches, make sure everything's on the needles, and I just don't have I haven't had the headspace yet to do that. But then I need to do the garter stitch and lace section. I'll show you the pattern so you can see what I'm on about. I didn't alternate skeins. I hadn't realised this is my first proper garment that I'm knitting on, like, in the round. It's my first garment in a long time. It's my first 4-ply garment. I knew that I really should alternate skeins. I didn't want to have to do that and try and work out how to do the increases and trying to manage the increases and stuff. Because again, headspace. And I was actually almost at the end of the raglan increases before like when I practically ran out of yarn. So I hadn't realised like this part takes it almost takes full skein just to get to like the arm separation. And hadn't really thought it would be that much, I remember. So yeah, it is a little bit big. It's actually a size bigger, I think, than what I was going for. I'd like to do the same pattern again, but in a smaller size. I again would like to get that finished because I need to get that garment off the needles so that I can cast on a new one. They are interchangeable needles, but I just don't like having too many things on the go. I'm learning this about myself. The plain blue yarn is so it's Turtle Haven, and the plain blue is See Me Now. So that is okay. That's the plain blue, and that's the yarn band. I picked mine up from Yarnworks in the UK, and then the other one is it's the same base, just a different colourway. The customer service I remember from Yarnworks was amazing. I highly recommend them. It is being housed in a beach print bag from the Tudor Rose Craft Studio. She is on Etsy and has her own website, the Tudor Rose Craft Studio.co.uk. And then so I did start doing this pattern, but I didn't really like the construction, but I really liked the hem. I'm hoping you can see that. So I've done the Flax light for this part. I ran out of yarn for Turtle Haven, so I'm going to do the See Me Now for this like shell print lace. So that is that. That has had no work done since I think it's April's Roundup podcast. I'm hoping to get it finished this month, but we'll see. And I only say that because I've ordered some yarn that's based on like Heathered Fade set from Skein and the Stitch. That's like Heathered Yorkshire Fade, and I would really like, that's been dyed and it's been posted. I'm really hoping it comes in time for me to cast it on Monday to knit while I'm in Yorkshire. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? This is my Yorkshire yarn, and in fact it's dyed in Yorkshire. This is my Yorkshire top knitted in Yorkshire inspired yarn knitted in Yorkshire. It just make me so happy. So I really want to get that top done so that I've got the headspace to start my next garment. So that's all the knitting I've been doing so far. I'd like to get those two. Whatever progress I make on both of them, I will slot pictures in at the end to show progress. There is still, I think, how many days are left? 6 days left, I think. 5 days left of July. So I've also had a go at making an angel. I don't really know what craft you would call this. Sorry, I'm just trying to like smooth it out a little bit. But I did this at a local, it's a charity cafe thing that's just opened up, and I've been involved with them from the start. It's something that I'm quite passionate about getting behind and supporting. So I went in the other day and I did this. I don't really know what art form it is, so if anyone knows, please let me know. But it is just, it's an angel in a pink sparkly dress, do you see? How cool is that? And then this is meant to be the halo. I'm a little bit worried, I'm a little bit annoyed that this is not central, but that's my fault. It's meant to be like a halo, although I think it looks like hair. But either way, I love that. And she's got wings. And the halo is like a gold sparkle too. I love that. So you sort of threaded. It's on a ring, and then you threaded like the head and the wings, and then you made the dress, and then you made like the halo, and you sort of brushed it out. Don't know what craft you'd call it, but I made it. So, and it's got a pink glittery dress like my nails. Although you're gonna have to excuse, they desperately need doing. But yeah, that makes me happy. And then I also did. I very deliberately don't name the craft charity thing that I'm involved in, so I don't know how much publicity they are comfortable with. You know, it's all over Facebook, but I don't really want to like name them on here and them not be comfortable with that. And then today I had my first go at Macramé, and I made, I'm going to say it's a leaf. It was going to be a feather, but actually it was big and it was neon pink, so I didn't really want to, I thought it looked better as a leaf. So it's my first go at Macramé. I really enjoyed it. And this is perfect actually, because I have ordered a t-shirt quantity of yarn from the Discreet Unicorn in her Autumn Leaves colourway, and I believe that does have like speckles or whatever of neon pink in it. So I'm gonna like have this with my neon pink autumn leaf top, and it's gonna be brilliant. I love this. I'm hoping you can see it. I don't know where's best to show it. Yeah, I really like that. It's my first go at macrame, and actually I really enjoyed it. I definitely want to explore it further. What else is on my list? I really should have said this at the top of the episode. I really need to alter rewrite my my notes. I've now set up a What Leigh Makes podcast page on Ravelry on the groups tab thing. My name is What Leigh Makes on Ravelry. Please do follow me, like add me, whatever. My projects do need updating on there. They're reasonably up to date, but I know I've completed 2 pairs of socks which aren't on there. But by all means, add me, find the group on the group chat, on the groups tab. I think that's what it's called. I'm trying to get better with Ravelry. It's not something I really used much before, but I definitely want to try and engage more of the online crafting community. So, you know, I am making efforts. I've opened up a chat thread for like introductions, you know, introduce yourself, say hello. There's a way to get to know people. So if you do use Ravelry, please do check me out on there. I am on Instagram, but I don't have a smartphone, doesn't interest me. I'm really clumsy, I break things constantly. So that's why I don't really publicise my Instagram, because I use it to chat, but I don't post very often, and that's what most people would follow me for. But if you're interested, you know, do comment. I can mention it if you're interested. Ravelry is probably where I'm most active. I do also use Facebook, but I don't know how much overlap. I don't know if I'm comfortable giving out my Facebook currently. I'm debating whether to set up a What Leigh Makes Facebook group. So if that is something you'd be interested in, please do comment down below. Sorry, and then again, this probably should have gone in the knitting section, but when I write my notes, I tend to write them as I go, and I've always got the intention. So I have like a template of like my introduction for my unboxings and my podcast, and then like my podcast episodes or whatever videos I'm filming specifically. I tend to like just write down things. I try to remember to write things down throughout the month, and I like just brain dump everything that needs to be mentioned. And I always have the intention of writing out a full show notes of like my full introduction, all like clean, clear, succinct, organised notes for each section. And I never bother. I'm always like, I've got time. Let's film podcast now. So in the knitting section, I should have mentioned I have been accepted for 2 test knits. They are both my first test knits. The first one I might have mentioned in June's roundup, but that is as a beginner colourwork test knitter for unwind knitwear. I am knitting the Art Nouveau t-shirt. It's based on like Art Deco. I want to say architecture, but I don't know if it's architecture as such. But it's based on like Art Deco theme. If I mentioned it before and there was unknown about colourways, I've now settled on the yarn I want, the colourway I want, and the yarn dyer is aware. I'm just waiting for payday so that I can get that paid for. I've also ordered another garment quantity from her because there was another colourway that I really liked. I didn't think it was quite right for this project, but it'll definitely be a garment, so obviously I ordered that. And then I've also been accepted to test knit a skirt. It'll be my first skirt. I've and ahh'd about knitting a skirt previously, but I've never really bitten the bullet. But I came across a video last night when I was doing some browsing. I am late to the test knit, but the designer very kindly said that I could still join. So again, I'm waiting for payday. I am currently, I don't know how, I don't really want to show too much at the moment, but I'm currently sketching out. Like I've gone through the yarn I think I'm going to use, and sort of try to select colourways that might work together, and then I've like drawn out the skirt. It matches a top. The top's already been released, so I'm test knitting the skirt, but I will also get the top pattern and knit a top to match anyway. I think I've settled on the colour theme that I want for it, but there is another colourway set. I need 3 colours ideally, and I think I'll do the. I'm currently exploring colours. Let's put it that way for now. But I've got a feeling I need to test. I'm gonna like sketch out the colour themes for the set that I think I'm going to make as the test. But it'll be the skirt that I only need to test, but I will do the top to go with it. And then I've got 3 more colours in mind that I think would work together. That I think I'd like to make a couple of combinations. I think I'll make the 1 skirt, but then I might do 2 or even 3 tops using the colourways and just different variations. So we'll see. I'm going to see how the test knit goes before I commit to making like 3 tops and another skirt. I also want to see, I'm hoping to see the yarn in person to confirm that the colourways do go as well as I hope. because I do struggle a little bit with ordering online. I think it can be difficult to see the colourways as such, especially when you're buying them like from, I normally order, when I order online, like commercial yarn, I tend to order from a warehouse. They're, you know, they have like the shades sort of set separately, and it can be quite difficult to try and see them all together. Whereas when it's a hand dyer, I find they're generally really good. And you know, if you message them and say I'd like to see these 3 colours together or these 2 colours together, they tend to, you know, be really obliging and go out of their way to make sure, you know, take pictures and make sure they represent as well as possible and send them to you. But yeah, we'll see. So I've got a test knit by, I think it's Making Joy. It is. She said that, no, she said it was postable, so I think I can sort of discuss it. It is a turnpike skirt, and she's got a turnpike top that's been posted. Like it's already out. It's been published, I think is the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to test at the turnpike skirt. I'm really sorry for background noise. So I think I've settled on the colour theme that I want. I just need to sketch out colourways to see what I think would work best. I think. So I'm really excited. So my plan is the start of, if everything goes well, I'm going to, like, coming up. I'll give you a sneak peek of what's coming up. I've set some knitting goals as well. Please do go and check out my video that I filmed earlier today, like back to back with this one, because I don't know whether or not I'll get a chance to get this podcast, like the pictures taken, this podcast uploaded between coming home from Kent and going to Yorkshire. I filmed a knitting goals video that could go up in place of the podcast, and then like post the podcast later on in the month, if that makes sense. So please do go and check that out, because that will discuss my goals more. But coming up, I'd like to get my Yorkshire yarn top knitted, ideally while I am in Yorkshire, although a full top in 5 days might be pushing it a little bit, even for me. Especially if you watch the 2022 reflection video, which I've just referred to, you'll realise how little crafting knitting I actually get done. But my aim is to get that done while I'm in Yorkshire, or as close to done as possible. And then I've got the test knit for the skirt does have a deadline. It ideally should be done by the end of August. I'm not certain it'll be done. I need to make the colour decision in the next few days and hopefully get the yarn ordered after everything depends on payday at the moment, unfortunately. Get the yarn ordered, and then hopefully that will arrive while I'm in Yorkshire. So it's ready, so it's at home, it's ready to go when I get back, which is why I want to get the top done whilst I'm away. The skirt does have a deadline. Ideally, it should be the end of August, but she has said it is flexible, I think was the word she used. So, I mean, I don't want to take the mick and take months and months and months to get it done, but I'd like to try my best to get it done. Although, you know, I appreciate that there will be some flexibility, because as I probably won't be starting it until the second week of August, I think if I come back on the Saturday, I'd like to knit the gauge swatch, get home, knit the gauge swatch for the skirt, and get that washed and blocked, possibly on Saturday, and then working Sunday and Monday, so I'll try and get some knitting done then, possibly. I mean, I need to come up with a plan of action, but it would only leave me about 3 weeks to get it done, so who knows. And then I also need to do the gauge swatch for the Art Deco top, sorry. That one is a flexible deadline. There's no, like, there isn't really a deadline for it. But I'd like to at least have it on the needle. So again, like, the gauge swatch will need to be done for that. And I'd like to get it at least started so that I can say that, you know, I am actually working on it. Because I got the pattern maybe 2 weeks ago. A week ago. And, you know, I said that I was sort of back and forth a little bit with the yarn dyer, trying to decide on colourways. I've now done that, but it wasn't that, it's not that I can't afford the yarn for that test knit, because of course at the time I'd only got one test knit, but actually I wanted a second garment quantity, and it just makes more sense in my brain. I'd rather place a couple of large orders, or, you know, 1 or 2 large orders, as opposed to like 4 or 5 like little orders. So I'd rather get 2 garment quantities together as opposed to like just 1, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm waiting for payday for that one. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm gonna have, so I'm hoping to have the Yorkshire yarn top done. The skirt ideally would be reasonably on the way to being done in August. The Art Deco top needs to be somewhat on the go, I think. It's difficult because there's not an actual deadline for it, but at the same time I don't think it's fair to be test knitting and then not knit anything for like 3 months. Do you know what I mean? So I need to, I've got, go and check out the 20, I think I'm going to call it something like 2022 crafting in 2022 reflection, mid-year reflection, something like that. Check that out to see the goals that I'm giving myself, and we'll see how well we do. I need to come up with like a plan of action, how to get everything done. But yeah, so my activities for tonight, the time now is 8:15 in the evening. My goals for this evening is to try and get my sketches done. I'm only test knitting the skirt, as you can see, but I'm also going to sketch out the top, because I'd like to see like how they'd sort of go, roughly how they'd go together, because I will knit the full set. And then whilst I'm in Kent, I believe the yarn shop I'm going to does stock the yarn I think I'm going to use. I don't know if they'll have the colourways I want in stock, but if they do, I'd like to see them like in person, see how they look. I've already had a look, and one of the colour, I think I'm going to go for an autumnal theme set, and then I'd like to use like a navy set for another one later on. But the autumnal theme one, the colourway that I definitely think I'm going to use, they've only got 100 grams in stock according to their website. So I'll probably, unless they get a delivery in before Saturday, I think I'm going to have to go online, which is fine. Which is, you know, it's fine. But if they still have at least one ball of each colourway, I can at least see what the colours actually look like. But yeah, do check back in August for the August update to see what I go with and how it's coming along. Do check out the Ravelry group, do comment down below. I'd love to know what you've been working on while listening to me ramble. I am very aware that this video is quite rambly. Feels like I've been talking forever, because I've literally just filmed another video on like crafting goals. And it is sort of like, both of them, I've got notes, but I wasn't actually ready to film them. I just realised, like, I'm in work at the moment, but my young person, you know, it's one-on-one, and my young person's gone out. So I just want to get them both filmed, so that I've got today and tomorrow to go through them, make sure the show notes are ready, just in case they don't go out tomorrow. So I might let's just go for it. Yeah. I think that's everything. I think I'm just rambling now. I think that's everything. Do come back, check out my previous podcasts, check out the knitting reflection video thing that I've just filmed. And come back for August podcast, see what I actually got up to, what I've chosen, how much I've actually got done. Some exciting times ahead though, so that's great. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.